I texted Corey to make sure he patched before his show too.
We are live on YouTube's, live
Hello,
on
YouTube.
Facebook.
Hello, Facebook.
You are now live streaming to Twitch, Lotra Stream.
There is a very silly collection of people waiting for us today. And speaking of tech issues,
hello everyone. How's it going, folks? Hello and welcome to Court of the Rings here on Twitch.tv/LotraStream, YouTube.com/Lord of the Rings /live, and Facebook.com/Lotro. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry, I'm running a few minutes late. I was having some technical issues with my microphone and with XSplit here, but all that's been sorted out. So for the next hour, sit back, relax, and pelt me with questions as if they were tomatoes. No, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I will be running the Harvestmath Festival over on Landreval here in just a minute. I'm actually patching up my game client right now. Looks like it's just now live. I actually, for this computer, I use an internal game client rather than just sort of the standard game launcher, because I use this one to do some screenshots and things like that with as well. There are going to be plenty of questions. I imagine so. Why? Did we do anything? Yeah, we've been busy, haven't we? So hope you've been enjoying Update 23. That came out last week here. We've been doing a couple of patches, including one just about went live, I guess, about 25 minutes ago, half hour ago, something like that. Basically a little hot fix to correct a couple of issues that I can go through the release notes for if needed. We do also have a patch 1, and you can, that came out earlier this week, and you can see the release notes for that over on Lotro.com's forums. Let me reset Facebook here, because it looks like I might be frozen in place. It's just my camera frozen in place. Yeah, okay, let me real quick cycle Facebook here. I will get to the Duran's Day event as well in just a smidge.
Hope I have a port for that.
All right, so first off, though, let me just kind of go through a little bit of news before I get in-game and do that sort of thing. So we did have to make one change this morning, and that is that we have had to, Harvestmath Festival Weekly Quest temporarily disabled. So we are temporarily disabling the weekly Harvestmath Festival quest called A Bountiful Harvest, along with disabling A Fortune of Harvest Spirit, which is like the meta wrapper, while we work to correct an issue with objective completion. And so what was happening, we were able to determine disabling A Fortune of Harvest Spirit, which is like the meta wrapper, while we work to correct... Stop, Facebook. I don't need to hear myself. Is this just me? I actually have started having this happen on my cell phone as well, where Facebook keeps on unmuting my videos. Have you had that issue?
I don't know. I barely use Facebook and got called out by both of my parents yesterday as to why I didn't have Facebook available to them on my birthday. Huh. It's the only time they've agreed on anything since 1975.
Nice. Sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. So anyway, a little bit more information about the Harvestmath Festival weekly quest being disabled. We had to turn off the meta wrapper along with the weekly wrapper. The daily one is still active and can be completed, no problem. We ran into an issue that we spotted yesterday, and you guys spotted as well, that when you would log out and log back in, the weekly was getting reset. So we've temporarily disabled that, and we're working on a patch to fix it probably mid-ish of next week, let's say Wednesday, Thursday, probably Thursday, I'm thinking, for a patch to this one. What we're going to do to make it all good, though, is we're going to bring back the wrap request for one thing. We're going to be adjusting the completion rate to account for their temporary closure. So instead of having to go with, what is it, 4?
3 of 4.
Yeah, it was 4, and now it's going down to 3 in terms of the completion for that. And all of the rewards will be available to earn. Additionally, we are, just as of about 20 minutes ago, discussing maybe extending the event by a weekend. But that's not really a settled question yet, so I don't want to like formally announce that, because there may be some reason why we can't do that. But there's some pretty good chance we'll be extending it by a weekend as well to take care of it. So anyway, the daily thing though is just perfectly fine, so that's working just fine. All right, next bit of news. Actually, let me just real quick call up the release notes, just so that for those of you who were like, well, what the heck were you doing today? We did a lot of scaling on damage. For those who have been playing in recent days, you'll know that particularly, let's say, above level 50, and it got worse as you got up, the challenge level kind of went through the roof. And Vastin actually did some digging into that, and that was related to a change which was not intended to make monsters as difficult as they were, but was. So we did some monster scaling with this patch, and that was really the primary impetus to get this hotfix out, is so that we could correct the balance at the, let's say, the top third of the game. We did also fix an issue where Etterfang was not resetting properly, and made Lobelia Sackville Baggins no longer invisible. I guess she had one of the rings too, huh? Yeah. And a couple other kind of things as well that you can just take a look at the release notes for. And then earlier this week we had a patch 1 which had some, say, Guardian fixes, Hunter fixes, minor minstrel thing. We added tier 12 crafting components to the basic vendor. Way up to the drop rate of Grey Mountain's instances on tier 2 difficulty. And, you know, some other things as well. Did a bunch of scaling, really. In addition to work to be able to bring out the Harvestmath Festival on Wednesday. So the Harvestmath Festival currently is set to go through November 6th, being shut off at 3 a.m. Eastern on November 7th. But like I said, there's some chance we might extend it through the 11th, turned off on the 12th. Stay tuned. If we end up doing that, you know, we'll of course let you know. Facebook has been wonky lately. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Thanks, Sydney and Alex and Lynn over on Facebook there. Is there any known login issues since the latest patch, getting invalid username and password error in the client since it's come back on? No, I would just, one, check to make sure it's spelled correctly. We did just go up on, I guess it was, what, about 11:37 or 38 Eastern time. So perhaps you experienced that issue if you tried to log in before then. Daz over on YouTube saying the new festival maze is really great. It is. It's also pretty challenging. I have heard some people kind of grinding their teeth, going, "That thing." If you do get stuck, I did notice either Fiber or Jedi did the work, or he linked to the work yesterday. I don't know if you know the answer to that, Druid's Fire. You can see some kind of spoiler type walkthroughs if you want to do a Twitter search for that, if you do find yourself stuck.
Yeah, FJ has a couple of maps. I think Chromite and Fruhauer from Stina's Discord have been discovering the discoverables.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of talk on the doormats and where to find them and all that, but I have not chosen to get involved in that. I'll let you guys take care of that.
And one thing I've been noticing is there's folks who have like kin neighborhoods, whatnot. They set up the doormats on all their kin houses and publish those lists so people can stop by and get the deeds.
Gumps Gang, how is the new hat doing? It's doing just fine. At some point here, maybe tomorrow, I will wear it.
You're not the hat guy, though, Jerry.
That's true.
You need to. I own more hats than you do.
I know. hey, I'm just newly getting into this cool stuff. So, by the way, check out that awesome looking dwarf there,
Check out that
Cosmos.
awesome looking cat.
Oh yeah, that too. But yeah, check that dwarf
I
out.
have
Dude,
named him
pretty
after
rad.
my late stream kitty.
Aw. Yeah, new black cat available. I was running around in Harvestmath on one of my other characters last night, kind of working my way toward that. So, dum, dum, dum.
As Zinker says, people have been posting on the forums the doormats. And speaking of stream cats, Beef Kitty would like to say hi to everybody.
Props to the doormat mechanic to get people into housing. Yeah, I thought that was a really creative idea myself. Some people commenting on my Pac-Man shirt. That's pretty funny. What happened with today's update? You can find the release notes on the forums. It was really... there's a couple of minor fixes in there, but the main reason we propped it is to allow for some balance changes to go into effect. There was some bugs, a couple of sort of scaling bugs that were causing... Like I said, it started at around level 50 and got worse as you went up with the difficulty of some of the mobs, and so we worked to fix that.
You're still in big head mode, by the way.
I know. Alright, I think, yeah, let's go in game then, and... before, though, we totally get questing, there's one more thing that I would like to promote, and that is tomorrow, noon to midnight Eastern, and possibly
10 a.m.
Oh, 10 a.m., you're right, 10 a.m. to midnight Eastern, we are going to be doing our Extra Life Marathon, and that's going to be going, like I said, 10 a.m. to midnight Eastern. Both games are doing it, by the way, so on both DDO stream and Lotra stream. I've decided to make myself twice as busy for some reason. We're going to be raising money for a really good cause, some Children's Miracle Network hospitals. If you donate to Standing Stone Games, that donation will go to the Boston Children's Hospital, but there are other people raising money for other hospitals as well. We set a low goal of $3,000, and this is, like I say, both DDO and Lotro. And so far we've raised $2,456, and we just kicked it off early this week. So thank you so much for everyone's generosity. I'm sure we're going to crush that goal. And, but I wanted to set something, low to start off with here. So.
To be fair, I looked at it last night, and most of the donations so far came from the Shroudapalooza event over on the other side. Mm-hmm. So, Lotro people, we got to step up. We can't let them win, because this is our event. We can't let them take it over. No. We gotta show some love to the kids. But we also have to do it by
winning,
doing better than our friends from the other side.
Yeah. So to be fair, that. For those who are curious kind of why there's DDO infiltrating Extra Life this year, Shroudapalooza is created by a couple of ladies, including one of the main organizers, Bonnie Bew, who has done Shroudapalooza in years past. And she had a specific thing happen in her life that motivated her to really want to get involved in Extra Life this year. And she and other people who do Shroudapalooza and some other kind of DDO players who have done Extra Life approached me this year saying, Extra Life has always kind of been a Lotro thing, but would you consider, doing it DDO this year as well? And it just kind of made sense to move to a Standing Stone Games team rather than, say, just specifically Lotro or Lotro Stream. And so I was like, yeah, it's all for a good cause here. So we're kind of mixing the games together this year for Extra Life and mixing the incentives. So if you have been to the forums, you will know that similar to past years, I do some kind of minor incentives for people who choose to donate to Extra Life. I've had a little bit of question because of kind of the nature of it this year, mixing up the games and all that. I'm being easy on you guys. Hey, it's all about raising money for kids, not meeting weird criteria. So if you donate and you're a DDO player, you can get DDO stuff. If you donate and you're a Lotro player, you can get Lotro stuff. If you donate and you like both games, that's fine too. I'll just get you stuff for both of those things. It's perfectly acceptable to me. So just kind of, but the main thing, and if you want to donate to Childpalooza, that's fine. If you want to donate to, say, Druid's Fire, that's fine. All of that stuff is perfectly acceptable in terms of how you donate, who you donate to, all that sort of thing. The main thing is you need to send me a private message with donation information, because I don't, clearly if you donate to someone other than me, I really don't see it. But even if you do donate to me specifically through Extra Life, all I'll get is like a ping from Extra Life saying, yo, John donated $20 or whatever it is, right? And I clearly can't match that to a forum name or a Twitter handle or an in-game name or whatever, all that sort of thing. So you gotta send me into PM if you want the incentives. Now, if you just want to donate, you don't really care about this stuff, or if you already have all this stuff or whatever, you know, you don't have to do this. It's an optional step that you may choose to take. But I am giving away Lotro points. 10 500 Lotro point codes and 10 Hero the Small Folk title codes randomly for hitting $1 grand, which we've already done. For $2 grand, 10 more 500 Lotro point codes, 10 more Hero the Small Folk codes. And presumably,
we've already got those two.
Yep, we've already got those two. And then presumably we're going to hit 3,000, I would say probably this weekend. 10 more Lotro point, 10 more Ghost Bear codes. And individual incentives is like a forum title, a custom forum avatar, Hero the Small Folk title, Ghost Bear pet certificate, or Tundra pet certificate, Perlino steed, and Cremello steed, one of 2 fiddles. I have basically I've separated it by festival or vendor. So you can either have a Bardic fiddle and a Traveler's Trusty fiddle, or a Lonely Mountain fiddle and a Sprightly fiddle. And then for $75, which I know is a lot, you too can get a Battle-Worn Steed of the White City certificate. And all that stuff is cumulative. So if you donate $75, you get the steed, 2 fiddles, 2 Perlino Cremello steeds, Hero the Small Folk title, Ghost Bear pet certificate, Tundra Cub, custom forum avatar, forum title, and you get into the drawings for all that other stuff. If you've got all that stuff, they're delivered to you through codes, so you can give it to a friend or a kinny or whatever else you want to do there as well. So anyway, I sure would appreciate it if you want to donate to either me or Standing Stone Games. It's extralife.org/team/Standing Stone Games, or extra-life.org/participant/Jerry Snook, which is the true name of Cordovan. And like I said, 10 a.m. to midnight, we'll be streaming all Saturday long. Lotro on Lotro stream. I myself am taking over last couple hours of the event from 10 to midnight. You're doing 8 to 10, is that right, Druid's Fire?
Yeah, 8 to 10, right before you, actually.
Mm-hmm. And McVegan Pans is kicking it off at 10, doing her show from, I think, 10 to 1. And I'll actually publish the schedule later on today here as well. So, any news for the next year's goals? Where will we travel next update? Stay tuned. We're not quite ready to announce that stuff yet. Now, you have some sense of what we're doing with Minas Morgul and things like that. But we do have some other things that will be announced soon. And for kind of longer term sort of picture planning, you're going to wait a little bit. We have another thing we're going to be announcing first. Well, once all that craziness of the last couple of weeks, because yes, it's been crazy here, is done, we're going to be trying to turn our attention to a producer's letter for 2019. Do SSG remove accounts from their database completely, because I can't log into the My Account page either? It's like all trace of it has vanished. Michael, so no, with one exception, and that is if we do get a formal GDPR request to delete an account, we will abide by that law. But for the most part, we don't. So I would just get in touch with account support through help.standingstonegames.com, and they should be able to sort that out for you. Is the new festival horse at the Hengstacer Farms now? I don't think so, right? Would it
Say
be
again?
rude to ask about Shelob at this stage? No, and not rude at all. I have nothing I can really say about it yet, though. Sorry. What will the next set of class balance passes be? Let me think if I have heard anything. No, I don't really want to commit to that at this point. I'm not 100% sure. We will be doing it, I'm just not sure which one's next, so to speak, in terms of being released. They're all kind of being worked on as time permits, and they're getting released when they're in a position to be released. So some things are kind of coming in earlier than later. Some things are being worked on now, but will be released after another thing, etc., etc. Bjorning is on that list, but it's going to be, I think, a little while yet. Saville Rowe asked basically, why on earth do we bring the game down today? It was due to difficulty issues that cropped up due to a couple of bugs on the high end of the game. It wasn't related to PvMP balance. You are loving Westmead. I am loving Westmead too. Let's go check out Westmead. It's very cool. I was playing it last night and really digging it. So
The world builders really did a great job with it.
yeah, they did. Finished up the Bingo Boffin Part 2 last night as well.
Some tea.
That was really cool. All right, so yeah, why don't we just go straight to Westmead if you be down for it.
Sure, let me port on over there.
Well, actually, I need to talk to Bingo Boffin here first, I think, right?
Indeed.
Yep. Curse of Eerie Acres. It is recommended, though not required, to complete the Frightful Tales, basically part 1 of Bingo Boffin here. You don't have to. I actually ran it yesterday on a character that had not yet done part 1. It was perfectly fine. So. Nothing to mention from since last week on the status of the 64-bit client. We're just continuing to work on it. Basically investigate the curse. As you unlock things, you'll be talking to a lot more of these NPCs. And there is the hedge maze, which we might get into a little bit later on in the show. I'm not sure that we actually will need to. Fun and games is kind of a nice little event. I cannot take a nap. Go talk to my siblings. A windy walk through Westmead, just kind of a way to get yourself introduced to the various folks. If you do want to go into the hedge maze, you want to talk to Erminshrude here. Iris has some cool quests. Eventually you'll talk to Iris to find a quest where you have to locate cats.
Meow.
There are people who like cats, I hear, so you may want to do that.
And can I give like a special shout out to whatever Darth Celtics did to the music for this
Oh, I
area?
know,
It's
right?
amazing.
So treats and trickeries. Stop and listen for just a moment, good friend dwarf. You see, my friends and I do so love a good and frightening costume on the fall festival, and so we were sitting about trying to imagine how to get some others to join us. Then it came to me, the cleverest idea. We must put treats out upon the doormats of our houses. Then, and this is the important part, only those in costume can be allowed to have some. So you can get the costume.
Good day.
Yeah, basically a basic costume grab bag will be one of a couple of different kinds of things.
Take a moment of your time.
And you go into your inventory here. 2 basic costume grab bags. And it just sort of applies a different look to your character here. Someone had asked, and I'm still trying to track down what the state of these costumes will be after the event is done. I don't yet have a good answer for you. But it's something I'm hoping to answer in the near future. I need to... It has been so busy here last couple of days. I just have not had time, but...
Well, I would hope that they would stick around, that we can use them for future use, especially since there's some really good ones that are for Mithril coin, and I wouldn't want to have to buy them every year. As much as I love throwing money at you guys.
No, I don't think that's so much the concern. I think it's more a matter of, can I use them when the festival isn't on? Is the main question I've been getting. I don't really have a good answer to that yet, because I need to ask. I haven't had time. What is the Durin's Day event that was supposed to start today?
Ponton knows where it is.
It may be something that I added to the calendar and am being deliberately vague about.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment? Could I take a moment of your time?
I am sure in the relatively near future someone will go to the forums and give you all the answers you need about the Durin's Day event. But until then, I don't want to be the one to spoil it.
As Ponton says in chat, the first place you search from the lore, and it was fruitful finding. So think of the lore, and you'll probably get it.
When will Bullroar be open for the new raid? Stay tuned. We have had some discussions about that in recent days. So it should be pretty soonish. But I'm not yet ready to announce an exact time frame on it. By the way, these spiritless hobbits do respawn, same with the kitties. So if you do find yourself stuck, unable to find kitties or whatever, there are options for you. I've also noticed, after the respawn, you kind of talk to the same people if you really need to. But was at one point a kitty in here. At least last night there was. And for the Gourds quest, you just target the Gourds, and then you can use the flinger, the head-removing club, as it were. All right, let me quick go to chat. You have the Durance Day title already. Nice. Yeah, Friedalus, Chromite says, has done a lot of the maps. So here's today's Maze 4. Very cool. Let me... About the locking of a bountiful harvest, will it remember how many times we've done it so far? Unfortunately, no. That is why, ultimately, we are locking it rather than, or disabling it rather than letting people just continue to do it. It's not going to keep track. So what we're going to do instead, I mean, that's the bug, right? So what we're doing instead is we're going to be lowering the requirements so that you can still achieve what you would normally want to achieve in the time frame. You would be able to achieve it when we bring it back. Any plans to buff essences of it? I have not heard of that. Any plans to do that? And Nineveh 8, or 9 Nineveh 8, however you say it, Nineveh 8. Are the Witch King, Sarah Oakheart, etc. costumes we can buy with mithril coins permanent abilities for our characters, or do they expire? If you buy it with mithril coins, I highly doubt it will expire, but I am working to track down the specifics of that answer today.
I dinged.
We need around 200,000 rating to cap mitts. Could you tune that number down? Pass that feedback along. We are not yet ready to announce when you will be able to see Minas Morgul, but it is on our agenda for the future. Missed the start of the stream? Any important announcements? Yes. Extra Life stream, 10 a.m. to midnight tomorrow, twitch.tv/LotroStream. Also, we have had, on the bug front, we've had to disable the weekly wrapper and the meta wrapper for this Harvestmath event until a patch next week, probably next Thursday. And we're going to be adjusting the numbers so that you can get all the stuff. Revenue, we don't talk about exploits nor punishments that what might be given on as a conversation here. I will tell you, we are aware of the specific issue you bring up, and we'll be doing what we need to do. The outfits do not expire, nor are they consumed on use. However, they are bound to character, which is demoralizing. Okay.
So, speaking of Extra Life, we have an unofficial goal that's not published on the forums.
Oh, God. You're really going to bring this up? Okay.
I'm totally good. Now, I actually have two goals. One I'm fairly confident we're going to achieve. The other one is my pie in the sky one. So, last year we, as the Lotro team alone, managed to raise over $10,000 for Extra Life, which is amazing. Great job, all. Last year, you brought your flute into the office and you played a bit of Tom Bombadil's theme. That is the $10,000 goal, Jerry. I'm going to make you do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
and because we've got DDO Stream helping us here too, the $20,000 goal, if this happens, you are going to wear a kilt to the... Yes, you are. You're going to wear a kilt. I will design it. I'll make it. It'll be awesome. You'll wear it at the PAX East gathering next year.
Okay.
There will be pictures.
Okay. I better start working out.
Oh, for God's sakes, Jerry, you do not. If I can wear a kilt and rock it, you're fine.
All right, I will do that. Yes. I have.
You heard it here, chat.
I am
it
a
is
shameless
committed.
person. By the way, you know what my Halloween costume just about is every year in my professional life? I wear my PJs to work because they can't stop you. They can't stop you on Halloween. What are they going to do? Tell you you're not in costume?
As
How
long
would
as
they
you
know?
wear PJs, okay?
Yeah. Well, yes. I
As
mean,
long as you're
yeah.
not violating the decency laws.
Exactly, right? I mean, there are certain limits that must be followed, you know, certain things that must be contained, but provided that that is accomplished, you can just wear your PJs to work. I encourage it. I think that that's a trend that everyone should just do. Instead of dressing up for Halloween, just wear your PJs to work. If anyone questions it, you're just dressing up for Halloween. You know I'm right.
Yeah, we used to do that at work, and now they make us wear business casual, so go figure.
The hobby horse is not usable in newer areas, huh? Okay, that's news to me. Isn't it just doesn't function? Like you try to use it and it just is like, nope.
Yeah, you can't use the hobby horse except in certain limited areas.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's not intended to be used out in the wild, basically.
Okay.
Chromite, I assume you've already submitted a bug report for that, but that would be awesome if you haven't done so yet. So yeah, James A has the info on the hobby horse. It's supposed to be towns only, but you can't do it in like Dale, Erebor, and Minas Tirith. Be cool. We also should allow it in Edoras too, because that's a town.
Yes, Chromite. I believe we are aware of that particular bug. I have not followed up yet this week as to what the status of it is, but I know that I've heard people talking about it. So, are the avatar revamps completed now with hobbits? I don't believe so. You know, the team does intend to kind of continue to update avatars.
Hello there.
Well, the only one I think that we're relatively okay with at this point, other than High Elf, of course, is... I hadn't really heard of plans to do a lot of Bjorning work. But we'll see. But I mean, I do think that we've got some other priorities, but I'm pretty sure that we're not, like, done. Oh, I'm carrying a pie. Oh no, I've got drunk and carrying a pie. Wrong way. Forgot.
You're supposed to eat first and then drink, so you don't have an empty stomach.
Yeah, exactly right. Any plans to allow the UI to scale re 4K? Yes. I don't have any kind of date to announce on that, but that is on our kind of agenda that we would like to be able to offer better UI scaling for, say, 4K monitors, that kind of thing. So I do think we will see that. I just don't know when.
And suddenly, Positively Evil wakes up because you mentioned 4K.
Yeah, right. Yep. Basically, I mean... Okay, so this maybe isn't the most professional way to say it, but there's a big long list of things that our engineers have on a whiteboard, and it is on that list. It is just that there's lots of things on that list, so it's kind of hard to say when we're going to specifically get to that one in particular.
Beardowen, yes. We need a Scotsman, a proper Scotsman to settle this debate. if a lady wears what would normally on a guy would be called a kilt, is it actually a kilt?
Of course.
No, we need to have a proper Scotsman. Berdoan is Scottish, living in Scotland. He can tell us for sure.
And why wouldn't it be?
See, that's always been my thing. It's not that it's the gender of the person wearing it; it's the actual style of the garment that calls it a kilt.
Yeah, for sure. That's not even debatable. That's just fact.
Well, we've got the official Scottish answer there. Yes. There's like the mini kilt, which is just like the kilt around the waist, and then you've got the great kilt, which has the big long, the whole Outlander style kilt, or for those of you who are old school Doctor Who fans, the Jamie McCrimmon. And that's a reference that Professor Corey will get because he started to watch classic Doctor Who.
I don't know that James A. asked basically, what about Bjorning for update 24? I don't want to commit to an update on that. We are going to be continuing to do classwork, but I don't, we've always been hesitant to like assign it like set in stone, especially while it's still in development, to a specific update, because these things are being released when we feel that they're ready to be released. So, like I say, work that happens today may be released after work that happens to another thing, kind of based on the way just the process works. So, but yes, there will be further classwork done, and that includes Bjorning, but I don't know if it'll be update 24 or beyond. Will we see a return of big battles? We have not had any intention to return to big battles. It's not to say it'll never happen, but it's not on our agenda right now. I guess colloquially, my understanding is a lot of folks are not real big fans of them. So,
well, big battles have their problems. I think most of the problems, big battles are easier to run if it's just like one person or two people. As soon as you get into like 3 or more, the scaling gets a little bit weird, and it becomes much more difficult to complete if you don't have like a full team, or even if your team isn't working. You have to actually be like a small dungeon team working together to complete them very well. And especially if you're going for like the gold or platinum rankings. Sorry for my phone going off. That was me reminding Professor Corey to patch his client for his show.
When are we going to get set bonuses and unique jewelry loot? I don't know. That would be a question, if we do a Q&A with our itemization team, that would be a question to ask them. I don't really have like a master calendar on loot properties that I can pass or reference and pass along to you. I appreciate really what you're saying here is you want set bonuses and unique jewelry loot, and that is a perfectly good request. When are seasonal instances coming back, or were they just for the Summerfest? I think that I would describe it as a new tool in our toolbox that we will probably use again in the future. You're right that we didn't do it for the Farmers Fair, and now we haven't done it for Harvestmath, although, to be fair, I don't know that that's so much a reflection of kind of an internal assessment of how we feel about seasonal instances, so much as it is situational. Harvestmath, we knew we needed to do Bingo Boff, and we wanted to do this Westmead stuff. We knew we were going to do the Wheat Maze. You know, plus itemization, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we had a pretty full update for Harvestmath this year already. So who knows where we'll go in the future on it, but, you know. But I'm sure that we'll be doing something along those lines in the future. As long as people seem to like it, because people seem to like it. Any word or progress on an XP holder that doesn't take up a pocket item slot? No. I think I've answered this a lot, but we have no intention of doing that, sorry. If I ever hear word that we do want to do that, I will be happy to let folks know. But I don't think so. Next, Chris is reporting really a favored chest issue. I don't know about that. Favored chests should still have a much higher chance to drop good loot. There is still a random gen element to it, so theoretically, if you've been playing for the last 45 minutes and didn't get something, I don't know that that's indication that there's a bug, but if you have more info to pass along, I'd be happy to read it. Will there be a Christmas stream with devs? Probably not. Oh yeah, he's having festival instances for Yuletide. That would make a lot of sense. That'd be cool. I don't know what our Yuletide plans are, though. I'll have to see. Cord, for the love of God, can you use the blue text in the forums like Vastin? No. I mean, I appreciate Vastin's choice to have his text blue, but no. Hadurb is upset that stats, because they've been reworked, they contribute by percentage less, and so people maybe have a calculation to make after they purchase a stat tome and feel they're not getting as much from it. Will we be contributing that adjustment upwards? I have not heard of any plans to do that. Ribbonwar says you ran out of quests to get you to 118 so you can run instances for quests and are basically struggling on a level. I've heard a few folks mention that, and that is on my list of things to look into. My belief is that will be a short-term issue because we're going to have T3 and raids and other things. So, but if we do like systemically have an issue with getting past 118, then it sounds like we would need to make some adjustments there. Oh, I still have to find black kitties. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. I look frustrated answering update patch questions. Oh, I'm not intending to. It's been a long couple of weeks, and I am tired. And I got a busy, big weekend going on, so I apologize if I am presenting myself suboptimally. Oops. Where did I go? I'm back at the party tree. I don't want to go there. I still have kitties to find.
Go back to the pony by Bingo, and you'll
Yep.
come back.
So that was my impression, Chromite, as well, that provided you did all the stuff, you should have more than enough XP. But Rimanoir, unless you're the same person on the forums you posted, you're the second person I've seen that has mentioned finding themselves in a place where they felt like they got stuck at around 118, so... Any ETA for the T3 instances? Nothing to formally announce, but it is coming quite soon. Is it known that non-favored chests drop literally nothing? No, and that is also not accurate. Sorry, but you are wrong. T3 only comes with the new instances? Yes, for now. It is highly likely that we'll be offering, assuming people like it again, like always, we will be offering T3 versions of future instances as well. But for now, yes. Cool, there's my last black kitty. And then the, if I recall, the sign is over this way? Yep.
Hello there.
So, Sammy 2002, you were saying it drops literally nothing, so you click on the reward and it is simply an empty chest without a single item in it, is what you are saying, and I am saying that you are incorrect. I understand that what you're actually saying is that you want the good stuff to drop more often in non-favored chests. But at the, and we have, like we said, we significantly upped the drop rate as of 11:37 Eastern Time this morning. But let's see how that goes before we increase it some more. No, Rose Tyler, who writes, did the festival auto-bestowal daily quest get fixed? It kept getting purged from the quest log when you relog into a character. It has not been fixed. As a matter of fact, because of that, we have disabled the weekly wrapper and the meta wrapper. What we are going to be doing, though, is put together a patch for next week, and that patch will fix it, and then we're going to be adjusting the completion numbers to account for that, so that you'll be able to complete all of this stuff during the time that's left in the festival. Next, Chris, but there is no difference in the drop lol even after the change. Well, we've been out for, what, an hour and 10 minutes? Are you saying that you have run the instances enough times to get a statistically significant drop rate percentage on that stuff? I think you probably have not. Where is Wistmead located? You can just get to it from the party tree. Are the featured challenge rewards going to be updated at some point? I don't have anything to announce right now, but I would think so. I don't know how folks ran out. I got up to 119 and 3/4 without finishing the quest. Still working on it, but hit 120 on Harvestmath. Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, down on Facebook there, I have had, like I said, at least 2 folks have reported getting stuck there. So maybe there's a specific account status or play style or something like that that's finding themselves in that scenario. Any new developments on housing? Nothing to announce. Okay, let's see. Talk to Walrick, and then probably talk back to Bingo. Can't cancel the Harvest Festival.
How dare you consider canceling a festival? Yeah, I was doing this last night on my stream, and I was voice acting. That was terrible.
Nice.
But it was
Yeah.
good. I have to give Maid of Lions a lot of props for the new Bingo Boffin quest. And I do believe Professor Corey is actually going to go through this quest. So if you want a lore-happy version of this quest line, stick around for Professor Corey's show.
Nice. All right. So we can talk to Will Whitfoot in Mickeldelving. But I think I'm going to wrap up the show here for now. So just a quick reminder, from 10 a.m. Eastern Time until midnight Eastern Time tomorrow, Saturday, October 20th, we are raising money for Extra Life. If you can spare $5, $10, $20, $20 million, whatever you want to spend, I sure would appreciate you donating to Extra Life. All that money goes to the Boston Children's Hospital and other Children's Miracle Network hospitals as designated by the people you donate to. If you do donate to Extra Life, either during tomorrow's stream or through my page or the team page at extra-life.org/team/standingstonegames, PM me on the forums with some information you can find on the forums. I need to know, like, say, your forum name, how much you donated, when you donated, that kind of thing. And I will be able to get you some incentives. We are doing drawings at the end of the fundraiser for Lotro points and some codes for other goodies. And I really appreciate everyone's generosity and willing to help out. We're going to have a really fun time tomorrow. And so I hope you get a chance to join us. Hope you're enjoying Harvestmath and Update 23. We have, like I say, some stuff going on next weekend as well. Corey Olson's up next, and then you'll be taking over later this afternoon, Druid's Fire. I assume you might be doing Harvestmath stuff.
I actually might actually play my to be raid character, which the raiders in the chat will be laughing about, but that's okay. But someone's gonna wear a kilt. It's gonna happen.
We shall
Yep.
see. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again next Friday at noon for Court of the Rings.